Hey everybody, welcome back to the How You Slice It podcast. I'm Bruce, I'm your host today. I am traveling. First off, let me just say, I'm safe. I am on the road recording some Pizza Insider videos, which you can also see on this YouTube channel here in New York. Recording this to talk about Pizza Toni's. That's the guest on this week's How You Slice It podcast. Alex from Pizza Toni's in Montreal has built a pretty cool brand. The reason I reached out to Alex is I was actually in Montreal not too long ago, and I loved the branding of Pizza Toni's and the design and the layout of the pizza shop. And then I went to their Instagram, and their pizza looks amazing too. So I asked them to join me on the podcast, kind of talk all about that. We talk about Pizza Master ovens, we talk about the design, the branding, the color scheme, getting started in the pizza business, and what it really takes to operate a great slice shop nowadays. A lot of good information if you're looking to do that, which I am. So that's something that I wanted to talk to Alex about on this podcast. But I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. So let's get into it right now. All right. Alex, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm following you on Instagram. I was actually in Quebec not too long ago, Montreal not too long ago for my daughter's softball tournament. And I was like, all right, let me look up some pizzerias or ask people where I should go when I'm going to Montreal, and your Pizza Toni came up multiple times, so good job on that.
So it wasn't just me hitting you up?
No, it wasn't. It was like, I always go to Instagram every time we go to a new city, so I work with Slice.
Yeah.
We do content like this podcast and the YouTube videos that we do, and once a month we go to a different city to kind of just check out the pizza scene, build community, talk to pizzeria owners, and every time I find out where we're going, I'm like, all right, we're going to be at this city. Hey, pizza community, where should we go? And that's kind of how I determine where we're going, or where I'm going at least, whether that be a podcast or an in-store shop visit. And your name came up multiple times, so.
Nice. Yeah, we have a great following and client base in the city, for sure. And we've been going 5 years.
How did you get into the pizza industry? Like, how did you get started?
Myself, I was, it was like really like a leap of faith for me. I've been in the restaurant game since I was 17. I started at Subway and then did basically every position in a restaurant other than chef for like 15-ish years.
Oh, wow.
And at a certain point, I realized like, okay, I have to get into ownership, or there's going to be a real crazy ceiling for me in terms of my ability to earn and develop my financial security in life. So I was invested in a brewery.
Okay.
Microbrewery. We were doing pretty good, but I realized I didn't like the industry at all, beer. Especially here in Quebec, I found it was less about business and more about having like the coolest beer, which I stopped being interested in. And I remember the first bite of pizza I ever had. And I was the kind of guy that would order pizza 3 or 4 nights a week.
That sounds like me.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it's a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
So I took a leap of faith. I got out of the brewery, moved back to Toronto after having secured a management position at like one of the hottest, most busy delivery pizza places that wasn't like a huge corporate thing. So it's called Maker Pizza in Toronto.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, so I got a management position there, moved in with my mom for the year, and learned about the game with the intention of coming back to Montreal to open something up.
How long did it take you to like learn it?
Well, I mean, I'm still learning it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you never figure it out. Yeah.
But how long? I mean, I did a year there.
Okay.
And I felt like I had the capacity to do something. Probably halfway through that year, I kind of understood what it was. I understood what was necessary. And then I came back to Montreal fully intending on opening a pizza shop on my own. And luckily, I was just about to sign a lease, and I had gone after a few investors, and they said to me, look, man, like, we think your idea is great. We think that pizza will work, but we hate the location. And so they all stepped away. And I was like driving Uber at that point so that I could be available for, anything that pops up. And a friend of mine whispered to me that there was another guy who was doing the same thing on the ultimate block that I wanted to open my place on. I couldn't find a place there, and so I went and just shook his hand at his existing restaurant, which is a falafel restaurant. His name's Yanni. And I said, yeah, like, I want to manage your business and be a partner.
Wow. So you partnered with him without even really knowing him?
I didn't know anything about him, but I didn't partner with him right away. He straight up told me no. He was like, I don't want a partner, but if you need to work, like, you can manage my shop.
Got it.
And so I was like, fuck, like, I don't have anything else going. It's what I want to do. I'll manage the shop, and then I will show them that they want me to be a partner. And that's what I did. Yeah.
And when did you open your first Pizza Toni?
We opened that together on, I managed the opening of that location in July of 2020.
Okay, so wow. So was it like July 2020? That's kind of when all the shit was hitting the fan. Still kind of, right?
It was the fresh. It was like, that was the time that everybody was freaking out, and the restrictions were just starting to be developed, pretty much. Wow. Right?
Yeah, I guess so March was when it really was like, all right, we're shutting everything down, and I guess that April, May, June was still trying to figure everything out. I don't think stuff started to open back up till like August, September was like, all right, let's start trying to figure out how we can get you to open again.
Yeah, especially for sit-down places. For us, we're not a sit-down, really. We have 12 seats. But yeah, we were COVID-proof, right? Like, slice shops, quick grab-and-go was COVID-proof businesses. So that's what happened for us. Like, we realized really quickly that it didn't matter.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to check out your shop, too, is I like first of all, I like the logo and the design. And then I was trying to find pictures online of the shop, and it seemed like you have on the smaller side slice shop, right? Not a lot of seats. What is your shop, like 1,200, 1,500 square feet?
Yeah, we have a basement which brings it up to about 1,500, maybe 16. So the top deck is maybe, or the ground floor is maybe 800 to 900 square feet, I think.
Okay, so that's like a small slice shop. Did you just do all takeout for the most part?
That's what we did at the start. Yeah, we had 6 pizzas on the menu. We had 9 pizzas on the menu, but 6 different flavor varieties. So, and we were doing 20-inch pies with slices, and then more like a mix of a grandma and Detroit style pizza that we also sold for slices.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
a New York, like if people are thinking like a New York style slice shop, right? Like what you'd think of a New York style slice shop.
Exactly. That's what we tried. That's what we did.
And so you have 2 locations now, right?
Yeah, we just opened the second one in January.
Is it a carbon copy of the first?
Copy paste, pretty much. I mean, like with the business model, yes, but with the layout and the build out is totally different.
Was that taking into consideration like the space you had, or what you learned from the first one, or both?
100% what we learned from the first one.
Yeah, that seems to be the case too.
Obviously, this one's 3,000 square feet with the basement,
okay,
so it's much bigger. Yeah.
Did you want that much space?
We could have done with less, but I'm very glad we have it.
Okay, good. The only reason I ask is because I was just at. I'm not sure if you've ever followed. You may have heard him on the podcast, Troy, or seen a video with him from Blue Square Pizza. Just there.
I don't know it. No, I don't know.
I'll send you a link. You should follow this guy. He does great pizza. But he has a shop in Massachusetts, and his first shop is 1,000 square feet, and he was doing great. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go get a second shop. And the second shop, he kind of switched things up, kind of like what you're doing, and just did things differently based on what he learned from operating that first shop, which is similar to what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important that you learn and develop, because like all those snags that you run into with just workflow with the way that you design your first space, like you need to change.
Yeah, everybody thinks like, all right, maybe especially people who have never worked in a pizzeria. There's a lot of people who started as pop-ups, right? And they get their first brick and mortar, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do my kitchen this way. And then you get in there like, fuck, why did I do the kitchen this way? This sucks.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and we're still seeing things that we could have done better in the second one. We're like 6.5 months in, so we'll adjust on the next one.
Yeah. What are some major differences that you did? Like, what'd you do differently majorly?
The way the line flows. So like at our first one, it's sort of like it zigzags to the oven, where at the new one it's all just one big line to the oven. And then it would be nice if it was a line, a continuous line to the finishing station, but we just didn't have we didn't have the space to do that. Other major differences would be I think like that's the major difference. We got like a bigger fridge, we got a bigger walk-in, it's double the size. The prep areas are their own areas at the new one, whereas at the first one space was limited, so prep happens on the line, which is really not conducive to like producing a ton of pizza. Wow, like it's just mixing things up and having crossover slows things down, and it hurts your team.
Yeah, the only way that would work is if you're not open for lunch, right? Like you do prep
Exactly.
all day. Yeah.
Yeah, but we are open for lunch, and we still do it. They still get it done, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? That happened at our shop too. We were doing prep. We were busy all day. Like we did the same thing. Like we were a place that had a pizzeria, and like we slowly in the building like added more space and like built a little back room. And it wasn't like we started with exactly what we wanted. It was almost like it creeped up over time, and it's so hard to do prep during the day while you're trying to get orders out and be consistent with everything.
Yeah, it's hard to do. You need more people to do it. It can be done, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but what you're saying too is like you only really know what you need to know by doing it, and then being like, oh no, I wish I didn't do it this way. Like no one could have told you that at the beginning.
I mean, look, like, and you also have to work with the space that you've got. Like, if you think that you're gonna be a busy pizza place, there are gonna be sacrifices in terms of workflow, especially if you're not 100. Like, you shouldn't be going to get a 3,000 square foot spot, and especially if your dollar per square foot is high where you're at, like taking that huge risk of big rent, like saving on your overhead is super important. So you're gonna sacrifice.
The reason I ask all this is like I'm in the process of like researching to open a pizza shop. I've been talking about that, and like here's what I'm gonna do. I want to document the whole process from like start to finish of everything that I've learned and do, but I don't want to give out the location quite yet till like we're ready to open.
It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter where it's gonna be at till you do it.
Right. So, but I'm always looking for places like yours is very similar to what I'm thinking of doing, and the reason I want to do something similar to like your style, which is like a smaller place, is I've learned that. Done so many interviews, and I've visited so many pizza shops over the last year and a half, and I've realized that the most profitable ones and the ones that are the easiest to run, and none of them are easy to run, so don't mistake me saying easy with easiest. Are smaller footprints, like 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, small menus, and they do a couple things really well. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said they had an opportunity. They do a pizza shop. I'm not going to give out the name because I'm going to give some numbers, but they do $3 million a year in sales in probably about 1,200 square feet. No alcohol, all takeout, no tables. And they had the opportunity to move to a fuller restaurant. And they said they probably could have done $5 million a year in sales with a full-blown restaurant, but profits would have been less. And he's like, why would I do that? Why would I want a bigger restaurant, more people, more overhead, more costs to make less profit?
Fuck all that.
Like, yeah, he's like, so I just didn't do it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. I want like 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, just sell great pizza, maybe a couple side items and some salads, and like that's it.
That's the model.
I think that's the perfect model. And I think people open these restaurants because I think they, like what you said about the breweries, I think they think it's cool. So they want to open a cool spot versus a profitable business.
Yeah, and like with that particular place, like there was a veteran squad that opened that up, and they really wanted to open an institutional restaurant with a brewery attached to it, which is like two completely different things. They're tough businesses to run. Like so much overhead, so much headaches. It's not for me. I got out of the sit-down restaurant game for a reason.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not judging anybody. If you want to open a full-blown restaurant and do your thing and you don't care, like, go for it. But I don't want to do it either.
No, man, not at all. But yeah, we need them. I'm glad people want to do them. They're great.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I love it, but I'm not interested in doing it for a living.
Where did you learn how to make pizza at your previous spot, or like where did you come up with like your pizza? Because it looks great on Instagram. So on Instagram, for people listening, the Pizza Toni, and Toni is Toni. You can go follow him on Instagram and check out your pizza, but it looks fantastic. Yeah,
it is. So the way that the recipes got developed was Yanni. Before I met him, he went down to LA to make pizza with one of his friends. The name of the slice shop in LA is escaping me. But so he went there. He went on pizzamaking.com. I think he went to New York as well.
Okay.
And did some stages, and from there figured out the dough recipe. The sauce, got the ideas of what the menu would look like when he opened it up. And then from there, once we opened, it's just been development since then.
Yeah, testing over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you change the recipe often, or you kind of stick to one thing?
Well, the core recipes have never really changed. Things that we did change was, so we started with 6 pizzas, pepperoni, margarita, cheese. There was a marinara with arugula on it for the vegans. It was actually just 4. And then the 2 squares. We did square margarita and square pepperoni. Yeah, 6 pizzas. And then over time, I realized, look, we're going to need to add some ingredients to this menu. Like, this is getting boring. It's getting boring for our people. It's getting boring for me. We're just going to expand our market. So I went ahead and went through that process quite carefully and made it make sense for the way that we were doing things already.
That's interesting you say boring, because I was thinking about that the other day. Like my model that I want to do, like, would it get boring, or how long before it got boring?
A year.
Okay, so you have 1 year of like the excitement, and it starts to wear off. And you're like, damn, this kind of sucks. This is boring now.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't suck. It was just and it was just boring, and also we were missing out. Like, there was it's not hard to add ingredients to your menu if you do it right. And my vision, or my gut told me that I did not want to have a lot of fresh ingredients, so I sought out high quality marinated vegetables.
Okay.
So that's what basically the only thing that's perishable in our place, other than the cheese and the pepperoni, but that's it's barely perishable, is the basil. So everything else that you can get from us is a marinated vegetable ingredient.
Was it pizzas that you added, different pizzas, or different items altogether?
So we added all the items, and we put together a bunch of pizzas with those items that I identified as good ones to have on the menu. So, and we added a bunch of pre-made. We added a bunch of pizzas that are just available.
Right.
So we've got your classic all dressed, which is I think a Canadian thing, and then a bunch of other ones that we created. We added some cheeses as well, actually, smoked provolone and goat cheese.
That's smart too. Like, you're not starting with the small menu, get everybody trained and used to doing that, and adding a pizza here or there after is probably not as hard as starting with 25 pizzas.
Well, yeah, and I'll never have 25 pizzas on my menu. That's insane. We have, I think it's 14 or 15 pizzas that are available, and we added 6 marinated vegetable ingredients and 2 cheeses, and through adding those things, we could create 15 pizzas, or
nice.
10, 12 pizzas.
And do you do delivery? Like, what's it like up there? Do they do
Oh,
delivery like they do down here?
yeah, we do. We definitely do delivery. That's like the bulk of our business.
Is it in-house drivers or do you have third parties like we do?
No, we wanted to do in-house drivers at the start. We thought like it would be good to go core, but we looked at it and like managing it, like we would need a fleet of 15 drivers.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Like, and with traffic here, I think there's too many variables that you take on as the pizza shop owner to that you cannot control once that pizza goes out the door. Whereas services like Uber Direct, it's done for you.
Yeah, they don't have to come back to the store either, right? It's just a one-way trip for them.
One way trip, yeah, totally. It causes headaches. Like there's pros and cons, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Yeah, your city. I was just in Montreal not too long ago, and it was pretty trafficy during rush hours.
Brother, I don't know what Boston's like. I'm sure there's got to be traffic there too, but it is bad here. And the the infrastructure is like ancient. It's poorly designed. It's a mess.
Yeah, it seemed very Boston like. It was very much city like the city of Boston, like kind of small, walkable if you don't need a car, but if you do have a car, it's like kind of a headache to get around during the rush hour times.
They're similar in age and similar in architecture as well, so it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like
The only thing that was different was everything was in French. All the signs were in French, and
exactly.
I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know what I'm
Turn right on
doing."
red here.
Yeah,
You guys can't turn right on red in Boston, right?
we can, yes.
You can.
Some parts you can. So, like
Okay.
if you can't, they'll tell you you can't.
Yeah, here it's the whole island. You can't turn right on red. It makes no sense. It does my head
Have you ever been to Boston?
in. Never.
Yeah, a lot of people from my area go to Montreal because it's a close drive and there's a lot to do there. And especially like you said, it's a little different laws when you're younger.
Power of the dollar as well.
Yeah, but it's a great city. Where I was thinking while we're talking, like, what's the goal for you? Is it to open as many as you can, or do you have the two now and you're kind of comfortable and you're just like trying to maximize the two you have?
Yeah, for me, I would love to build a pizza like mega empire. Um, I think that that's a really cool goal over time. So we are looking at number three right now. We're and that's like we're pretty committed to number three. The goal changes though. I think like we asked the question of like things are pretty good right now. We're happy. Do we want to add more workload? And that's just what you do as you open another one. It's just higher workload, higher
Right.
stress. But yeah, I would love to see us with 10, 15, 20 locations. That would be amazing.
That's great. How often do you have to work in the stores? Did you have managers and a staff there that's kind of operates it, and you go in there to supplement them?
Yeah, for the first 2 years, I was like on the floor every single day, working, making like for the first year, I was like making the dough every day, managing. I was HR, I was the general manager, I was the assistant manager, I was everything.
Yeah.
And that changed over time, and that's when we saw things really take off. Is when I like went to my partner, who's less involved on a day to day in the restaurant. And I told him like, look, this is completely unmanageable. If we're gonna keep going and pop this thing off, like we need to get some real management in here, and that's what we did.
And so that made it easier for you to kind of think bigger.
It gave me time to think. Like
Just
I had
period.
I had no time to think at all, and that caused me to be like a really bad at certain aspects of my job that were really important. Like we lost a lot of really good staff members that I think we could have kept had I had the time to give them and the opportunity to not be as stressed as I was. Like, yeah, managing stress was a big one.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? I reflect on that a lot and I think about that too as I kind of move to this next part of my pizza career in the pizza industry where it's like I'm going to be operating in like the mistakes I made in the past. And I agree. Sometimes when you're under pressure or you have to make decisions financially and you're working in the shop and you don't have a lot of time to think about it or talk to someone, you make the wrong decision because you have to just make a decision. You don't have time to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you make the wrong decision, and like you're just and your communication is terrible because you don't have time to be a good communicator. Like if anything goes wrong outside of the shop in your life, that gets brought into the shop because you're there all the time. Like and it's like I can suffer. I don't mind suffering, but like when my people suffer because I'm unable to take care of that, it's just bullshit. Like, and we lost a lot of good people because of that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do too.
Learning process, right? We don't lose people as often anymore, and when they leave like with a smile on their face. So that's really important to me.
Yeah, it's good too. It's like good for your reputation if you have people that stay with you for a long time.
Yeah, and we had a bad reputation at the start. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think everybody kind of goes through that learning curve in the beginning.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like the truth of it is that I learned how to general manage a really busy pizza restaurant in Toronto, but I didn't learn how to be an owner.
Yeah.
Like ownership is totally different. It's there's so much more going on, so much more riding on it, and like I don't, you take a big chunk of your own money and you invest it into a company, the game changes. So that was another point of development for me as well.
Yeah, when you're I always say this too, like when you're the general manager, like going from general manager to owner, work-wise, like working in the business doesn't have that much of an effect, but overall mental state of being an owner versus a manager is huge. It's a huge leap.
Huge. It's a completely different skill set. Like I'm still developing that skill set. Like luckily my partner Yanni he was seasoned, right? He had opened his first falafel location, I think 3 or 4 years prior, and so he had all of that under his belt and brought it in, and a completely different skill set to me, which I feel very lucky to have entered ownership in that way, because like I had a stake in the brewery, but it was like junior partnership. I didn't know anything. It didn't matter. It was like
it's good to be able to talk to somebody who has run a business similar to what you're doing now, so you can, because all the same questions are going to come up that he probably has gone through.
100%. And like he had the confidence to make decisions and tell me no and be a bit harder, like a bit more shrewd about things, and it was incredibly important to have that guidance, because if I had my own on my own, I don't think I don't know if I'd be in operation still.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me switch gears a little bit and talk about, because I want to talk about one thing, like what oven do you use in the pizza?
PM943ED, baby.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's like a Ferrari, like it needs maintenance and fucking, but it performs really well.
Okay, good. Because I've been like talking about that for the Pizza Master you have, right?
Yeah.
Just for people listening that don't know that technology. I mean, I do, but like they may not. Pizza Master. I've been talking to a lot of people lately going to the pizza shop because it seems to be the hot oven that everybody has and moving to electric and loving it. But then there's been a couple people who are like having a lot of issues with it. And I was like, oh no, is it like something that could have a lot of issues, and should that be something I'm aware of?
What restaurant equipment that exists doesn't have issues?
Good point. A Hobart mixer.
The holy grail.
Yeah.
Developed. If anything was developed for the American military industrial complex as a kitchen, get it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, don't. Otherwise it's going to have problems. So we have 2 Hobarts, and you're right. That doesn't. But even no, that's not even true. We had to buy a new Hobart because our old ass Hobart broke down. And
what broke on it though? Like sometimes those are easier to fix than like an electrical pizza oven.
Yeah. So the planetary, we have a planetary Hobart, and the gears that move the hook seized.
Grind it out.
Seized.
Yeah.
And our guy's a great guy, and he That's all he does is fix and refurbish Hobarts. And he was like, I can't do anything with this. So we had to buy a new one. But that was already 40 something, 45, 50 years old.
So just that does I've heard of those happening, but for the
Something
most part,
Something
like
cracked.
coolers, like I agree with you. Coolers, walk-ins, compressors, all that shit has problems all the time.
Yeah, so we started with Baker's Pride Y600s. We had
Okay.
4 decks. So stacked one on top of the other, side by side. And those lasted about a good year. They weren't new, they were used. And then every other month I was changing out thermocouples, I was having to change the pilot, and to the point that they were costing us thousands and thousands of dollars per year. And we were having so much volume. And on a Friday night, a fucking thermocouple would go, and I'm shutting down services. I'm losing a crazy amount of revenue. And I said to my partner, it had been a discussion for a while, and my partner, being a little bit more cautious with the finances, he was like, I'm not getting us a Pizza Master. It's not happening. Over and over. We had this discussion probably like 10 times, and then finally I was like, look at this shit, bro. Look how much we're losing. And he was like, you're right. And he was like, okay, pull the trigger, get a Pizza Master. And we did that. And that was a saga, which was a good learning experience. And the Pizza Master itself isn't a perfect oven. It's not the Holy Grail. It's not a Hobart.
Was the problem trying to get electricity to the building and get it all set up, or was it once it got set up?
That was a solution that needed to be found, which we did. So number one, we had to get the Y600s out.
Oh, right. Yeah, because how'd they get in there? Did they take them apart and put them together in there, or did you open a window?
Brother, so the way we did it, in hindsight, this was really stupid, but we decided we were going to get them out on the morning the Pizza Master was delivered. So I called up a scrap metal guy and said, I've got these Y600s, they probably weigh 1,500 pounds, all of it's metal, come take it. And we go to start taking it out, and we realize this thing's not budging. Luckily, these scrap metal guys were beasts, and they were like, just give me a second. They go to their truck, they get a gas-powered saw, and they start sawing it in half in the restaurant.
Oh my God.
That doesn't work out. There's sparks flying everywhere, and I'm stressing out because this is my project, my initiative. My partner's there. He's not happy. I'm freaking, to the point that I'm like, I feel like I'm going to burst out in tears, but can't do that right now. We have to get it out. So eventually, we figured out some 2x4s and nudged it out, and then we carried it because we have some our slice display. It's all cabinetry that you can't move. So we got it out by 1 inch on either side, vertical, each deck, and then got it out the door straight onto their trailer, which it fit both decks by less than 1 inch. and then we got that all sorted, and then we're like, we have to get a Pizza Master in. It's a 943. This thing doesn't, you can't just pull it apart. But we did. We pulled it apart deck by deck on our own on the back of the truck, and then pulled it off the truck, brought it in, and reassembled it all ourselves.
Oh,
in the restaurant. Yeah,
that's an expensive oven too. You can't mess anything up.
When it was my project, I was high stress. I cried in the alleyway once we got everything out and in, and that was just a moment of thanking God. I was like, yeah. So we got it all hooked up, put it all together. It's been great. We've had it blow up once. Definitely, if you get a Pizza Master, talk to your tech and get extra parts for the electrical panels that are common to have to replace, so that you don't have to wait a week for them to come.
That sucks. That happened
Yeah.
to you? You had to wait a week? You had to close for a week?
We've had to close for a few days here and there because once we had an electrical fire in it,
Oh,
which was luckily quite contained. One of the contactors was messed up and it went. And then we had one other time that we had to shut down because it was the power coming into the building. There was something that happened. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like you said, though, like every piece of equipment in the restaurant has had problems at some point.
You're never going to win.
Yeah. You can do your best you can to like be prepared or preventative maintenance, but even that, eventually something's going to break.
Yeah, like the springs on the doors of our Y600s, the Baker's Prides, they would snap.
Yeah.
And that's a $500 part. And then you have to fucking replace it and like, which is fine. Like it's not hard to put a spring on a door, but these are heavy springs. So like, and I don't have the tools for it or whatever, but like just that, yeah, you have to get to know your oven and the mechanics of it and be prepared to fix it yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You become a master of everything. Well, not a master. You kind of become a tinkerer with everything because you can kind of
100%.
fix it or at least figure out what's wrong with it to get somebody who knows what they're doing in there. That's usually what happens with me.
100%. I mean, and I like that stuff. I'm happy that I took it upon myself to do those things because it feels good. It gives you a little bit more sense of pride, but
Yeah.
hopefully you don't have to do it all the time.
It's different. It seems way different at the restaurant than at home. Like my wife will be like, "Dude, you fixed everything at the pizza. How the fuck can you not fix anything at home?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know why I can't fix anything at home."
Yeah, because I'm busy fixing things at the restaurant.
Yeah. She doesn't believe me when I say I fix stuff at the pizzeria. She doesn't believe me, but it happens. Do you know what the other thing I want to ask you about? I love the logo and the design that you have. Who came up with that? Did you hire a company to do that?
Yeah, so you see that painting in the background there in the mirror? That's Dan Kleiman. He is a Montreal artist. He also did this tattoo on me. He does a bunch of different styles of art. He was a tattoo artist and he does graphic design. He designed the logo and anything that you see that requires some artistic ability in the restaurant, he did that. And then we have an architect named David Dworkind, who we work with on all our projects.
Okay.
He owns he owns an architecture firm called Menard Dworkind.
Okay.
So they took care of the design.
Okay, cool. So you have like a color palette, like you use the same colors for everything you do with a website, so many menus like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super important, I think.
Yeah, to be cohesive with everything, right? So it looks like you can see if you probably can recognize, especially if you're in Montreal, if you see these colors or this font or this style, they know it's you.
Yeah, I'd say so. And we're not like, there is sort of like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there is sort of just a style for quick service restaurants in the design up here. And also, I think like in Europe as well, I noticed it, like smash burgers for some reason in Europe are super hot, and all of the smash burger joints have the exact same design.
Really?
Yeah, it's super funny. There's a certain style that got popular, and we were at the start of it, I think. And there's been a bunch of the same thing. Like, for example, Dan's done a ton of restaurants, and obviously his style is going to be similar across.
Right.
But yeah, for us, we're highly, highly recognizable in the city for sure.
Yeah, I can tell because I'm looking through your Instagram, and like every time there's a photo or a video with the restaurant itself, it looks similar. Like
Yeah,
this.
so the second one is the exact same in terms of design.
Okay, and that's the one you're gonna do. It's like, so that's, you guys are gonna open up that you have all of that already done. So when you open a new restaurant, you're not like, what are we doing? Like, we know everything you need. You just need to make sure it fits in the space and then design the space.
Copy paste.
Is there anything that surprised you in the second one?
It's been doing quite well. Like the curve to doing good business was really quick.
Good.
It started out the gate, and that was a little surprising. The ease with which the team has taken on the workload and also gotten to know how to do things was very nice to see. What else? It was just surprising how how easy it all was, like in terms of just getting up and getting started. Like we plugged everything into the walls, everything was working, and it was like we got it. We got a pizza shop, which was really nice. It took a lot of work to begin with, but we transferred a GM over Chris. He took the job in St. Henry, and I think that's been in large part due to his efforts.
That's great. Yeah. He trained in the original location. That's where he kind of started?
Yeah, well, he managed the original location for at least a year as GM before we opened the other one. It might have even been a year and a half. So he came with all the experience. And the first one is an absolute monster beast. And it's hotter, it's harder to work in, and it's just a little less pleasant. So he came into this fresh, beautiful, top of the line place and was like, I got this.
This is easy now. Like, this is way more pleasant.
That's good. Yeah.
I just got to raise without making any more money.
Yeah.
How close are they together? Are they far apart?
They are far apart for the city. Like one is in the southwest, and the other is sort of in the Mile End, which is like what divides Montreal is the mountain.
Yes.
So there's a mountain sort of in the middle of the city, and they're on opposite sides.
Okay.
Like you drew a diagonal line, it would touch just straight, but it goes across the mountain. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. I appreciate you kind of coming on here and sharing all of your information. I've been hammering you with questions, and this is great informational podcast for sure.
For sure, man.
Where can people go say hello to you? I know I already mentioned the Instagram. I'll give it out now again because I got it up right here as I'm scrolling through as we're talking. The Pizza Toni, and again, Toni, Toni, on Instagram. Website, same thing, right? ThePizzaToni.com?
Yeah, ThePizzaToni.com.
It's in French, though, so you got to speak French, or some of it's in English, but most of it's in French.
Non, c'est en anglais aussi. It's in both.
All right, here we go.
We and yeah, you can order from us on Uber, DoorDash, our website, which is cheaper for those that would like to order. We're open 7 days a week, 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. depending on the night. And you can hit me up on Instagram at any time if you have any questions. I'm available. Yeah,
you're probably going to get a lot of questions from this podcast. So go to Instagram. And if you are in Montreal, go check it out. The pizzas look amazing. Places look amazing. Cool spots right in Montreal City. So if you're there, go check it out. So, Alex, don't go anywhere yet, but I appreciate you joining me on the podcast. This is great talking to you.
You got it, Bruce. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks, Alex, for joining me on the podcast. If you want to go check out Pizza Toni's, their website, all the Instagram stuff, we'll link in the description below this video. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment as usual where you're watching this from. I love to see those in the comment section. I hang out there as these videos go out. If you're listening to the audio version of this on Spotify or iTunes, leave me a review. How You Slice It podcast. We need some reviews up there. Hit the 5-star button. Leave a comment on the episode if you're listening on Spotify. If you're on iTunes, leave a description. Leave a review on iTunes. Much appreciated on my end. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you right back here next week.